Hi, friends. I'm just getting here to do circle time. But look at me. I got distracted reading the newspaper. It was so interesting that I just kept reading it while I got here for circle time. So I never even took my mask off. I'm still wearing my reading glasses. I was still holding this. Look, I'm even still wearing my vest. Now that I'm inside and there's nobody else here, I'm going to take my mask off. I wear my mask when I'm around other people. I wear my glasses when I want to read something or see something close up. I wear my vest when I'm outside and it's kind of chilly. So now that I'm inside alone, I'm taking off my vest, my mask, and my glasses. But I'm going to stay here with you and tell you why in the world I have a newspaper at circle time. I didn't forget that it was circle time. I remembered that I wanted to be able to tell you about newspapers at circle time. N is for newspaper. Look at this. N is for now. I got another newspaper from my town. N is for Newton. N is for newspaper. The letter of the week is N. It used to be M when my lips would go together to say M. And now that it's N, only my tongue is going to go up behind my teeth at the top like this. N. N. Now if I put my lips together, it's going to sound like M. M. But if I only put my tongue up behind my teeth, it'll go N. Like Newton. Newspaper, new creation, preschool. Now, those are all the things we're going to talk about today. And maybe you got to notice that on the front page of one of the newspapers that I was looking at, they have something that matches our journal, and I did not make that plan. I made the journal plan a very long time ago. And then this newspaper was just written a few days ago, and I never talked to them about it. But friends, this newspaper and I are going to match something, because this is a story about a 911 dispatcher. Somebody who answers the phones when anybody calls 911 and they find out, hello, 911, what is your emergency? Like, how do you need help? And then when people need help, one of the first things they have to find out is, where are you? So when they give an address, then look, they even have maps hanging up on the walls behind and around them so that they can use the map to make sure that they have an idea of where the help is needed. And friends, please remember that, because that is going to match something with journal time later. It's really amazing. Kind of a miracle. Like a surprise that turned out to match what I was planning. It's very cool. I'm very excited about that. The two newspapers I showed you, I brought because we're going to use newspaper today. I had an old newspaper that was old news. The news was over and I didn't need that newspaper anymore. And before I recycled all of it, I talked to some teacher friends and we decided, yep, good idea. Let's cut up that newspaper into tiny little pieces. All of these little words on here are from the newspaper. So these pieces I have, I didn't make the letters on them. They were printed on there just like this newspaper. And it's like we took it and we cut it up so we could only read some of the news. That's what we're going to use for our alphabet project today. We're going to make our lowercase n shape, and we're going to make it with newspaper. Okay, so yes, hello. yellow September, orange October, brown November, red December, black and white January. It's kind of like I'm using that like my little chalkboard spot, the spot where I can hang something up. So I'm using a glue bottle today, and I really want to talk about that dot does a lot and how many of you friends are practicing your gluing. A dot, the other thing to practice is the dot being small. So sometimes I know dots are big. We've talked about this before. Some dots are big dots. When I say a dot does a lot, I mean a small dot. Like how small the opening is of the glue bottle. I'm talking about small dots, which is really hard to do because it takes a lot of control. So this is one of the pieces I have that's black, perfect for this month. Color of the month is black. This is one of the pieces, and this is one of the pieces. This has to go on first for me to know where to put this. So if I put it this way, it looks like the letter U. It's not U week yet. It's N week, and we want to have this be upside down, kind of like a rainbow shape. So when I say a dot does a lot, look what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the tiniest dots. I barely squeezed my glue bottle. I'm just like almost just letting it drip. And then I just get a tiny little blob that comes out. And I think that's going to do a lot. Probably that one got too big. That's probably going to squeeze out the side, which is not a problem for me. I can solve it. But the goal is to make the dots, enough dots, so small that it doesn't even squeeze out the side. When you go to kindergarten, your kindergarten teacher might say, how did you learn to make dots so small that still work? Practice. Okay, so put the end somewhere in the middle. Miss Krista, and let me see, did that squeeze out the side ever? Oh, it didn't even squeeze out too much. I just have, oh, yep, there's the squeezer right there. But a little bit of glue, wipe it off, it just goes away. I know when you work with Miss Brenda, if you come to preschool here, Miss Brenda always keeps like a little wipe or a little Kleenex nearby. So whenever there's the glue spills on this glue that's squeezed out, you just do a little wipey off. And that just takes care of it. That's how glue is handy. Next piece. This one you might think it gets funny. Okay, first thing is we're going to do little dots, tiny dots. That's the goal. Come on, tiny dot. Barely a squeeze. If you see the glue coming out of your glue bottle, then you can stop squeezing and just push it down. Is the glue coming out? Yep, so I'll stop squeezing and I'll just let it touch. Is the glue coming out? Yes, so just let it touch. That's maybe the trick to remember. When you see the glue coming out, stop squeezing and then let it touch there and the glue comes out. Now, funny part coming, because if I put this up here, it looks like I'm making the letter H, but I'm not talking about a whose paper. I'm talking about a newspaper. It is not H week, it's N week, and this has to just be right there. Like a little stem that comes off. Just like when we did the M that way, just that little stem, that little line that goes off, that's the lowercase n. If this was written in a book, somebody who is familiar with reading and knows how the letter sounds make would know that that is the N. That's the lowercase n. And to remember the newspaper day. Now for sure, I will not need a bit of glue. For sure, I just need a dot. And I'm going to squeeze until the glue comes out, and then I'm going to stop squeezing. Glue. There it is. Stop squeezing and dab. N is for newspaper. I'm just going to decorate a little bit. I won't be able to cover the whole thing because I don't have that many newspapers. Okay, I'm only going to squeeze until I see the glue coming out. Oh, there it is. Stop squeezing. And dab it off. Whoa, that is so small. Let's see if it even works. It did work. I'm telling you, friends, glue is quite magical. Okay, I've got 2 more pieces. And they're so small, my little fingers are really getting a workout. All right, squeeze until the glue comes out and then stop squeezing. Oh, stop squeezing. Glue. It really is working, friends. That's a new challenge for you. Okay, so now look, I have one more piece, and I think I'm going to put it down here so it's like the newspapers are spread out a little. All right, newspaper, newspaper. Okay, we're going to squeeze till the glue starts coming. Oh, stop squeezing, Miss Kristen. Dab it off. And we have N is for newspaper. N is for newspaper. The letter of the week is N. I'm going to show you something. You'll see the N in here, but it's not lowercase, it's uppercase. Just like when we do our journal time later today and we see the journal work, let me show you what your N's going to look like. The N in your journal, you'll see the lowercase n, just like our one that we just made with our alphabet project looks. But then you'll also now see the capital N. Here are the N shapes. So we just made this one here, but this is the capital N that you're going to see now when I show you this new word. Ooh, there's a lot of letters and a lot of words. T.H.I.N.K. This says think. This is what the newspaper writers do, the journalists do. When they're about to put something in the newspaper, they're going to think, is this true? Is this helpful? Is it important? Is now the time to tell people this? Is it kind? When I'm about to tell somebody something, I like to think through these things. Am I going to tell the truth? Am I trying to be helpful? Is it important? Is now the time to tell them? Am I being kind? And if the answers are always yes, then that's a good time for me to tell it. But if it's not true, maybe I shouldn't say it. Or if it's me trying to be mean, maybe I shouldn't say it. Let me show you some people. Some situations. Okay. Oh, here's one. Now, let me tell you what's happening in this picture. So there's somebody sad and there's somebody who's peaceful. This is how they're feeling. This one's feeling sad. This one's feeling peaceful. This one was thinking something and telling people something at the same time. This person is missing their mom. This is a preschooler missing their mom. This preschooler has their mom at preschool with them. Their mom got to stay at preschool. They're holding hands. That's the mama's hand. They're feeling peaceful. This one is feeling so sad missing their mom. If this friend wanted to go to this friend and say, my mom is here, your mom isn't here, my mom is here, it's true and it's important. Like this person is feeling like this is important for me. My mom is here. It's true and I like it. But that isn't the time to tell this friend. That might not feel helpful to this friend to say, my mom is here, your mom's not here. That may not be helpful to this friend. Now is not the time to tell them that. Maybe later when they're feeling more regulated and peaceful, maybe they will enjoy being with this friend and their mom, right? That might be helpful for this friend to say, my mom is here. Do you want to come play with us? When this friend isn't crying anymore about missing their mom. Now may not be the time for that. Now is the time for this friend to get some comfort, some love from teachers and friends. I'll be with you while we wait for your mom. I know, I'm sorry. I know how it feels. All of that love. Okay, look at this one. Okay, let me explain this picture. This is supposed to be me reading a story to somebody. Look, we're looking at each other. We're looking at the book. We're being kind of quiet, telling our things about this. But then a little bit away in the room, this person saw this friend fall to the ground. This friend saw this friend fall. Is now the time for this friend to come over and tell the teacher? The teacher's busy reading a book. This friend is falling though. It is time. It's true. If this person wants to say, someone just fell on the ground, is it true? Yes. Is it helpful? Yes, because the teacher needs to know someone fell down. Is it important? Oh, yes. Is now the time? I think so, because they fell. Is it kind? Yes. This person is wanting to help. Teacher can wait and finish the book later. The teacher can tell this friend, oh, hold on. We've got something urgent. We have to take care of it now. Let's check on the friend who fell. Okay, last picture. Let me explain what's happening here. So this is a friend in the playground. There's our outside school. There's a tree. There's the long sidewalk to go inside. That's where like the bathroom is and the inside classroom is. Uh-oh, this friend has to go to the bathroom. The teachers are in the outside school doing project. They're way up on the hill, far, far away. They're working with some other kids. Then there's maybe another teacher who's helping do something. Is now the time for this friend to go get a teacher to say, I have to go to the bathroom? Now is the time. It's now. This friend's body has to go to the bathroom right now. It's okay that the teachers are far away and busy, and it's okay that the teacher's going to have to leave all their work and go all the way into the playground. I mean, out of the playground into the building. That is okay. Now is the time to take care of yourself and get the help you need. That's what we've been talking about, is now the time. Is it helpful what I'm doing? Is it important? Do I have to do it now? And if you don't have to do it now, save it in your little thought bubble and tell later. Sometimes like at preschool, if I tell people, don't tell me yet because I'm doing something else, that means either save it in your thought bubble or go tell a different teacher because I'm not available. There will always be someone who's available for things that you have to tell now. Or you might think, I'll just wait and tell you later. And then I'd be like, okay, tell me later because I want to know. Let me show you. This is about a preschooler named Chrysanthemum. That's her name. Her name is so long, and she loved her name, Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. She loved her name. It was a long name. These people at this school, I say, are not in Newton. So when we go to look at our map, just like the front page of the newspaper, when I show you this map and I tell you, oh, this way, and I tell you, this is the map of our town, I know that you might not live here, but this is the map of New Creation Preschool's town. New Creation Preschool is right in the middle of this town. That's where this preschool is. That's where I am. So remember, even if we're not together in the same room, I'm standing in the middle of Newton, Kansas, telling you about things and that I am in the middle, even if you're not in this one. This is the map that I'm going to put in my journal. If it's too long or too big, look what I can do. I can keep the map looking like a map, but I can cut kind of on the edges and cut off this extra paper. I can use this for a different project. I can recycle it. Look, I'm going to cut on the edge. Now, if by accident, I do that, that's okay. Look, I'm going to start over, and I'm going to go back to the other starting point. I can glue this together, tape this together. I'm making it smaller so then I can fit it onto my journal differently. And I'll be able to glue that in. There's the map of Newton, just like the front page of the newspaper. I didn't know that was going to happen, but friends, we're kind of matching. I didn't know we'd get to match, but we are. So you might not be here. Only I am here right now in the preschool. I'm in the middle of the town at New Creation Preschool in Newton. And these friends in this book, remember, I'm saying their school is not in Newton, but they're having some of the same things happen, just like in our town. Well, this is her. This is Chrysanthemum. That's her teacher, and these are all of the friends in her class. Now, I'm going to show you how there are some things that happen here that do not match this. They do not match this. Let me show you. This is Chrysanthemum, and when you see her face being drawn with that expression, that gives us a clue. She's feeling hurt, like sad. These other friends were saying things that were not helpful and not kind. So it would not be the time to tell them because they weren't helpful or kind. Some of them were true, like she said, your name is 13 letters long. Well, that's true, but it wasn't helpful or kind because they were making fun of her, like, your name is so long it scarcely fits on a name tag. Your name is 13 letters long. I don't like your name. Was that kind? No. Even though it was true, that wasn't kind. The teacher even said, that's not important right now. The teacher even knew, this is not important. This is not helpful. And then look, next day in the line, they're saying more things that are not kind and not helpful. She went home crying about that. She went home crying about it. Then she has dreams. She gets up and goes to school again. She's feeling a little better about her name, Chrysanthemum. She remembers, oh yeah, I know what's true is that I love my name. And it's okay if other people don't love my name. I love my name. And then when she got to school, it happened again. Here we have a picture clue of the feeling. And they're making fun of it again. They said, your name is a flower, which is true. Chrysanthemum is also the name of a flower. So it's true, but it wasn't helpful. And it wasn't kind. That's not important for playing on the playground. That now was not the time to say that. When you are with your friends, when you are with people, when you're with your grown-ups, like your mom or your dad, or the other people that take care of you, you can practice this. Is what you're saying true? Okay, maybe it's true. Is it helpful and kind? If it's not helpful or kind, then that means this doesn't fit. What you have to tell me at preschool, I will say, is always important. I want to know what you're thinking. Even if it's not true, even if it's not helpful, even if it's not kind, you can tell me what you think. Sometimes then we're going to help you figure out, is now the time to tell that to your friend? Like if you're looking at someone and you think, I do not like their shirt. That's important for you to feel that and to know that, but it might not be kind to say to that person. It might not be helpful for them to have a good day, to help them feel better. Now would not be the time to go up to someone and say, I don't like your shirt. It's okay that you think that. It's okay that you told a teacher that. So we can help understand, I wonder why. Is it the color? Is it the style? Does it remind you of something? Let's understand that. But that doesn't mean that you have to go and tell that person, because even if it's true, even if it's important for you, it's not going to be helpful for them and it's not going to feel kind. So now is not the time to tell them. It's just a time to tell a teacher. Good news about our book. Chrysanthemum had a teacher who really understood this. Chrysanthemum had a teacher who really understood and was really able to help everybody understand how to be helpful and kind in what they say. Mrs. Twinkle was a wonderful teacher who came, and she did love Chrysanthemum's name. She did love it. So friends, you can, when you're going out in the world and you're learning things that you want to tell people, maybe you found something out from looking at the pictures of a newspaper. I found something out about COVID-19 in here. I'm going to find times to think about it. Is it true? Did I read it carefully? Is it helpful? Is it important? Is now the time? Is this kind for me to tell? Yes. I decided yes, and I told all my teachers what I learned about COVID-19. I thought about it. Think. Is it true? Yes. Is it helpful? I think so. Is it important? Yes. Is now the time? Mm-hmm. Is it kind? Yeah. I'm trying to be kind. Taking care of children, taking care of my friends, taking care of myself. You little sweetie pies, I hope you have a wonderful day looking for news and information in the world. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my glasses back on. And I'm going to read more of this story about this 911 dispatcher while circle time ends. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. It's a good story. It's a good story. It's a good story.